Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Thanks for joining us on Tesla Time News.
Episode 26.
Now you know. All right, so this week, SpaceX is going to the moon.
Woo! So what about Mars?
Well, first they're going to take a couple passengers to the moon, go around the moon. They're not going to land on the moon. They're going to go around the moon. They've taken a big deposit, they said, from a couple people who want to go around the moon in a Dragon capsule.
Wow. Do we know who these people are?
We do not know who they are yet. They're going to have to go through some physical flight checks first and make sure that they're ready. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the later half of 2018.
Okay, so I mean not too
Not
far
too
in the
far
in the
away.
future. Huh?
Yeah. In the second quarter of 2018, a manned mission in the Crew Dragon module will go to the ISS.
Okay.
And so that's pretty exciting because that means that for the first time, Dragon will have a crewed mission. And SpaceX has announced that they've been contracted by NASA for 4 Dragon missions per year to ISS. 3 cargo, 1 manned.
Wow.
And so the good part about this going to the moon mission, going around the moon, is that it'll help fund a lot of the future missions. So this isn't like just for the fun of it. There's going to be a lot of research going into this, and this will help fund that.
Awesome.
It wasn't you, was it?
Well, I don't think I can afford it yet. Subscribe to us on Patreon.
This will be the first time that we're going into deep space in the past 45 years.
Wow. So what is deep space? Is that
Deep space, I guess, is
outside
of the
low Earth orbit?
Yeah, going to the moon is considered deep space. So this will be the first time they'll go faster and further into the solar system than ever before.
Wow.
Yeah, another reason to sign up for that. And this will be the same launch pad, 39A, from the Kennedy Space Center that the Apollo was launched 45 years ago.
That's historic.
It is historic. So did you hear about this one? There's a 5th grader named Bria Loveday who wrote a letter to Elon, I think just last week.
Yeah.
And she asked Elon if he'd consider having a contest to have all of the Tesla fans submit commercials to Tesla and have them pick a winner and have those be the actual Tesla commercials.
That sounds really exciting. I mean, we should come up with a commercial.
Yeah, we're going to do that. In fact, just a few days later, Tesla announced that they've come up with a program called Project Loveday.
Wait, so I mean, this means that Elon listened to Bria's letter.
Yeah, he responded. Here's the tweet where he responded and said that it was a lovely letter and that it was a great idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that they're going to do it.
And they're going to do it. So
Wow.
May 8th is the deadline. You can submit a commercial 90 seconds or less. The top 10 winners will get their commercials broadcast on social media of Tesla's social media. The grand prize winner will get 2 people, 2 nights at the next Tesla launch, all paid for by Tesla.
Wow,
Yeah, that could be the Model 3 launch.
that could be very exciting.
We've already started sketching out some ideas, so we are definitely going to enter this contest.
Yeah, if you have any ideas and you're not thinking of doing it, you can post them in the comments down below. But if you are doing, we'll steal your ideas flat out if you put them in the comments. So
that's true. The 10 winners will be based on originality, creativity, relevance to Tesla and its mission, and entertainment value. So good luck, everybody.
All right, so about a week or so ago, there was an email that was sent out to all the Fremont employees from Elon.
Okay.
And it was leaked, so we were able to read it.
Ooh.
And it was basically an address to the Fremont factory, to the
what did it
Fremont
say?
team. He mentioned safety. He mentioned that they wanted everyone to be everyone to be safe. He mentioned compensation, so they're showing...
Oh, yeah, look at this chart here.
So they're showing at the end of 4 years sort of what your compensation working at Tesla is compared to other automakers.
Yeah, if you look carefully here, so they're comparing Fiat, GM, and Ford. And if you work for those other companies, you can see here that you get a slightly higher actual pay check.
Yep.
But what you get working for Tesla is if you stay there for 4 years, you get part of their stock option program. And this shows how much that would be worth today.
Right.
So working for Tesla, look how much more valuable it is. I mean, you get a lot more working for Tesla. So he was pointing that out. Like, if you want to go union, fine. But if you stay doing it this way, it's safer, you get paid more, and something about fun.
So first of all, they're going to have free frozen yogurt machines throughout the factory.
That's cool.
That's fun. And then also there's going to be roller coaster pods to transfer workers around the factory.
Wait, roller coaster pods?
From what he said, basically it sounds like there's going to be just a roller coaster that's running through the factory. You can get to
Out
different
into the
places.
parking lot?
to all the different parking lots. He said there's also going to be an optional loop-de-loop. So that's fun.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, how can you beat getting in a loop-de-loop roller coaster?
With frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
And, wow,
I
that's
just
an
love that.
interesting
I
way
mean,
to get to
when
it.
has management ever come up with this as an option to workers? I mean, this is just, it's full of safety, compensation, and fun. Why not? And you're changing the world.
Right.
So VW announced its electric ID concept car. And what's interesting about this is they actually let some of the media drive it. And they claim it's going to be a Tesla 3 killer.
Oh, cool. So it's going to come out like in the next year or so, huh?
2020.
Okay. All right. So it's going to be, it's going to have faster 0 to 60 time, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to go 0 to 60 in under 8 seconds.
Well, I mean, the Model 3 can do it in less than 6, right?
Yeah, 5.5.
Okay.
true.
Well, then the range must be better. I mean, well, especially if it's coming out in 2020. I mean, the range just must, they must be projecting just a huge, just blow them out of the water kind of.
Well, it'll have 250 miles of range with its base model, and you can upgrade that, I think, to around 350 miles of range, which I know is what the S already offers and the X offers now, and probably
Okay.
the 3 will offer.
So that's, but I mean,
know.
this is 2020. So fully autonomous, right?
No, not fully autonomous. No. Sorry.
Okay. So I mean, how is it going to kill the Tesla?
Well, it has these cute seats that fold up in the back. And
That's a cool idea. I do like that idea.
It has the doors that open like the i3 doors there with no center pillar. That's
Okay,
kind of
that
cool. Oh, and
sounds-
these headlights. Check out these cute headlights with they tell you if you're safe to cross in front of them with the little green there.
I do like
Huh?
that. That is cool.
That's pretty cool. I think that's going to kill the Model 3 right there. Boom.
It
Boom.
really, it sounds like an i3.
2020. Just got to wait a few more years. Don't even bother getting the 3. Wait for this thing. This looks awesome.
Okay, but what about a supercharger network?
Well, no, I don't.
Okay.
They haven't mentioned that.
Okay, so I mean, this is basically just an i3.
Yeah, they say it's going to be $30,000.
Okay,
That's
so
pretty
it's
cheap.
like an i3.
Yeah, and they're usually wrong about the price. But
Right.
self-presenting door handles.
Okay, the S had that in like 2014 or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe because it's VW and they do lie occasionally.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting.
All right, we don't like to report on Tesla crashes, as we mentioned to you before. All cars crash, so it's not a big deal. But we do know that when Tesla crashes come out, it is big news. So we thought we'd talk about this particular crash. There is footage of it.
Mm-hmm.
This was a Tesla near Dallas, Texas, crashed into the side barrier. It was using Autopilot. What we'd like to point out from this crash is that...
a couple things.
A bunch of things.
I think the first thing that you see is that the construction barrier basically just crosses straight in front of the road at like a 30-degree angle. There's no signage or anything beforehand to alert drivers to it. So I mean, this, if you weren't paying attention,
anyone could crash.
Into this.
It basically guides you right into the
right.
The
All
barrier.
the lanes go straight towards it.
Also, when you're using AP, you're supposed to have your hands on the wheel and be alert. And if this driver had been, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to steer out of the way.
Right.
So that's another big point here, is that they weren't using AP properly.
Right. And so then another thing that has sort of come to light from this, or that a lot of people didn't know, is that the Tesla will only use automatic emergency braking if steering is not an option.
Yeah, that's something I learned. It's very important for everyone to know. If you have it on, you might say to yourself, aha, I don't have to worry, it'll brake. It won't brake if there's another option. And in this case, if you watch carefully, there was no one to his right, so he could have steered to the right and gotten out of the accident.
way that he should have gone.
Right, the way he should have gone. So what Tesla thinks to itself is, I'm not going to brake, because if I do automatically brake, I might get rear-ended by the guy behind me, causing...
Right, he might swerve off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
That might cause more accidents. So, I mean, that's more of a safety feature for everyone.
Right, so the computer program has said, okay, is there an option out of this as opposed to just braking? If so, don't just brake. And in this case, there was an option, it didn't brake. And so it did exactly what it should do.
Right. So, I mean, if you have Autopilot, right now, it is not autonomous.
Right.
Just be aware of that.
It's a guide.
Please
it's aiding in your driving.
Just pay attention to the road.
Yes.
All right, so in 2016, Tesla sales topped $1 billion in China.
Wow. That's a tripling from 2014.
Yeah. So
Wow.
in just 3 years, they're able to triple their sales in China.
I mean, 2014, they had $477 million in sales, which is pretty good. It went down in 2015 to $318 million. But then last year, went up to $1 billion in sales.
I think that's great. I mean,
why is that?
Well, a couple things.
Okay.
I think the charging network has gotten better.
That's right. They've got like dozens and dozens of locations
of
China.
superchargers, but not only that, but thousands of destination chargers.
Oh, right, like at hotels and restaurants.
So, I mean, very easy for you to charge your car now, which I think is a very important thing when you're talking about any kind of sustainable energy car, or any car in general. If there were no gas stations, you wouldn't drive an internal combustion engine car.
Then, I mean, there's the biohazard HEPA filters.
Right. So on the Model X, they introduced the big HEPA filter. And I think that in China, with air pollution being what it is, especially in some of the cities and stuff like that, I think that that's a huge game changer to be able to get into your car and to have it be, no particulate matter at all.
And then there's a lot of government incentives. A lot of the cities in China are offering up to $10,000 free license plates, free parking, so that there's huge benefits. You can drive in parts of Chinese cities that you normally can't drive an ICE car.
Yep.
So that's really good news. $1 billion in sales.
It's amazing.
So here's an interesting story. Panasonic, which is partnered with Tesla, has just released its car roof solar panel. It's an 180-watt solar panel, and we think that if Model 3 is offered with the solar panel option, this might be the one.
Oh, the one that will go on the Model 3?
Yeah.
If you order it.
If you order it, and if it's offered. So we did a little back-of-the-napkin kind of calculations to see what kind of power you would get if you had this on your car. At 180 watts, we figured that it would take about 2 hours in the sun to generate 1 mile of range. That's just rough.
Okay.
And so we figured that if you had a sunny, ideal workday setting, like a outdoor parking lot with lots of sun, that you could expect to get about 4 miles of range a day at an 8-hour workday parked there in the parking lot.
Okay.
And if that's true, you could, let's say you own this car for 12 years.
Okay.
You would get about 1,200 miles of free solar every year. That's under ideal conditions.
Right. So no cloudy days.
No cloudy days, no underground parking garages.
Right, you're not parked in the shade.
Right. So these are fairly ideal conditions, and that you would be getting about 14,400 miles of free solar energy for the 12 years that you own the car.
Okay.
If you do the math, at today's prices of electricity, you're looking at about $1,000 worth of free electricity for the driving that you would do for the car.
Okay.
So we think that the solar roof would probably cost more than that. We're guessing $2,000, maybe $3,000. So if you do this option, you're probably not going to get your money back, but we do see that you could get a decent number of miles
That's true.
to the car.
And I think that it would work in different scenarios probably better, like maybe if you're closer to the equator and you get more sun, more direct sunlight, like directly on top of your car, you'd obviously get closer to that 180 watt peak, solar panel.
Yeah. I do want to point out that whatever the price of the solar roof, that's going to have a large determination on whether it's worth doing this. But if it is $2,000 to $3,000, maybe it's better to spend that money on a community solar program or on putting solar on your roof if you're really looking to maximize your solar. But if you're doing it just for kind of the fun of it and to get some free miles from the sun, think about doing it.
It definitely would could interest some people who would see it and say, "Wow."
Yeah. Or maybe you live like in coal country and there's no other option for you. This would be a great way to get some free solar miles. Speaking of coal is gone with the wind
and the sun.
Oh, and the sun. Yeah. So if you check out this graph here, it's pretty cool. It's showing that since 2009, all the new net electricity grid capacity has come from clean energy sources. And basically, to sum this up very simply, coal has been closing plants, and natural gas, solar, and wind have been opening plants. Right. So we basically see a net gain in clean energy.
So, I mean, natural gas is not clean energy by any stretch of the imagination.
Than coal. Though.
Cleaner than coal. But if you take the gigawatts of electricity production that have been taken offline due to, from coal and some natural gas plants, and you look at what's been added, you can see that the net has been all
clean and renewable
energy.
Right. And that's really exciting. That leads into our next story here, which is that transportation pollutes more than the grid. So for the first time since 1979, transportation, which includes planes, trains, cars, and trucks, emits more carbon dioxide than power plants. So that is interesting. Look at this graph here. It shows that since 1979, that's the first time that that's happened.
Right.
Basically, we were getting cleaner energy from the grid, and now it's our transportation that we have to work on even more.
Right, and it's easier to clean up the grid because you can take off a coal power plant, replace it with solar, replace it with wind, and that's a lot easier to do than if you were to, say, to replace all the cars on the road.
I would argue, though, that up until now, yes, you're right, because there hasn't been an option. But now that we have EV options, I think it's pretty darn easy to change the transportation system.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to get easier every year. Right now, only 0.7% of the U.S. car fleet is EV. But as we're seeing, that is changing fairly fast.
Yeah. All right, Zach.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What do me and the Pope have in common?
What do you and the Pope have in common? You bring... I don't know. What do you have in common with the Pope?
We both drive Leafs.
The Pope drives a Leaf?
The Pope drives a Leaf.
Wow.
So this is not the first time that a Pope has decided to drive an electric car.
No?
Unbeknownst to me, Pope Benedict actually had a converted Kangaroo LE-ZE.
Oh, by Renault.
By Renault, they have an electric van, and he had a converted one of those,
cool.
and that was what he would drive.
But now, why isn't Pope Francis driving like a Tesla?
I think he wanted something smaller for the Vatican. Vatican's not that big.
Oh, yeah, it's a tiny town.
It's pretty small.
That's right. His commute's probably pretty
small
short.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there may not be a supercharger at the Vatican, so
They should put one there.
that would be cool.
But I think a Leaf is a good size for the Vatican. Just zip around.
Yeah, they're trying to get them to divest from fossil fuels. I guess the Vatican has billions of dollars worth of investments, and they're trying to convince them to invest in more sustainable energy, and this is one good step in the right direction. Plus, it'll show all the Catholics in the world they should drive an EV.
You should.
Yeah. So EVs just got cheaper to drive in New York State. Governor Andrew Cuomo has come up with a $2,000 rebate for EVs and hybrids. State Assemblywoman Amy Paulin said, "We want to make electric vehicles a mainstream option. They are becoming more affordable, and we need to encourage them."
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah. It'll add on to the federal credit. So, a Model 3 in New York State now just became $2,000 cheaper. And this is an interesting fact. I just found out that New York State imports $20 billion worth of gasoline and diesel every year. So, another reason to get electrics into the state.
Wow, absolutely. There's not a lot of oil in New York City, huh?
No. So this week on In Depth,
or Out of Our Depth,
we're going to be covering the story of new battery technology and Honda's new electronic charging lanes
system.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. So every week we get comments from our viewers. We got over 300 this week. Thank you so much. And this week we chose a comment from Catcaller, who said, "Watching your channel and listening to all the Tesla Time news and your in-depth, out-of-our-depth discussions has garnered enough interest that I went through Tesla's website, looked through their information and procedures, and reserved my very first car, the Tesla Model 3. Keep up the amazing work." That is why we do this show.
This is why we do the show. We want to be bringing you the latest and greatest information about Tesla, about technology, about sustainability. We want all of it to be in a nice, simple, wrapped up with a little bow place here on Now You Know.
And you did exactly the right thing. You went and learned a little bit more about it. It spoke to you. You signed up for the Model 3. Thank you. You are probably going to be so excited when it drives.
Right. You were part of the solution.
Yes. So thank you. Again, this is why we do it. Thank you to all of our viewers for all of your great comments. We want to bring up our new supercharger locations this week.
All right.
So under construction are
Newport Pagnell, UK.
And permitted this week
in Little Rock, Arkansas.
And then there's new ones opening in
Hoorn, Netherlands. Please help me with the pronunciation. And San Juan del Rio, Mexico.
Nice. Whole lot of new places. We don't have any new videos this week, and we want to remind our viewers, maybe you forgot, if you're going to be near a new supercharger, maybe there's one under construction, or you're driving through some cool place, take out your phone and shoot us a quick video.
Right. It doesn't have to be from this week's episode. It can be from any episode or any supercharger. Basically, we'll accept anything because we love looking at superchargers. We love seeing which ones are around, and we love seeing different parts of the world.
And we love to hear what are the amenities?
Yeah, what's
near
around
them?
it? Like bathrooms, places to stay, places
Wi-Fi.
to eat. Yeah, Wi-Fi, coffee.
Yeah,
all the things that you'd need while you're stopping and waiting for your car to charge.
Exactly. So shoot us those videos, make them 20 seconds or so, and we'll get them on.
All right.
thank you so much for watching, everybody. We love all the new viewers that we're getting. We're up to like 12,000 plus subscribers, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
The subscribe button is huge. It makes sure that you get to see Tesla Time news every single week and in depth.
And why is the like button important?
The like button is really cool, and I just learned this a few weeks ago. If you click the like button, what it tells YouTube is this YouTube video is good, and we're going to share it with people. We're going to put it on the recommended list, and so that way when you're scrolling through YouTube, you say, oh, what's Tesla Time news? And someone in the world will click on it, and they're going to watch it. I mean, probably that's how you found it.
Yeah.
Either that or hopefully a friend, told you about it. If not, that's probably how you found it. You can share the same experience with someone around the world. You have never even met them before.
That's right.
Click the like button, and someone else in the world will see this video.
And if you feel like supporting us, we belong to Patreon. Patreon is a website that helps support YouTubers like us. And so if you want to go over there right now and give us a couple bucks a month, it really makes a huge difference. It allows us to do all the cool things that we're trying to do for this channel. It allows us to bring you better episodes every week.
Today we're shooting through a new lens.
Yes.
So, if this has a bigger aperture. We're looking at all sorts of different things to make this a better news show, a better channel in general. We're going to be going on a road trip in just a few days. We're going to be going all the way down to the Florida Keys.
The most southern point in the U.S.
How about that?
How about that? And we're going to be showing you all the superchargers all the way down and all the way up. We're going to review them all for you so that you'll know about them.
And different places to go to, just in case you want to do a trip that's similar.
If you want to follow our trip, go over to our Now You Know channel's Facebook site, and we'll be posting on there every day little videos.
Live videos of us there. And then also we're going to have YouTube videos. After we get back, we're going to be filming pretty much everything.
Yeah, we're going to be vlogging the whole thing.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching.
Now you know.